about how to stop caring about other people's opinions and why that will liberate you so much. I feel I've mentioned this before, but a favorite quote of mine from Lost in Translation is that the less you care about what other people think, the more you know who you are and what you want, the less other people and things upset you. And that is really the key. If we allow the outside world to define us, then life is so difficult because we're people pleasing and we constantly have to perform to make sure that we're good enough and we measure up to some standards that who knows who actually ever invented. And we try to cater to people's opinions, which we are guessing. So life is so difficult and limiting that way. But the moment that we realize that instead of looking for validation, love, attention, abundance, whatever it is that we're seeking on the outside, we need to give it to ourselves first on the inside. And that we need to look for our own validation, our own love, our own approval. Then life suddenly begins to make so much more sense and feel so much more freeing and liberating because instead of looking at 1 million reflections and or more and trying to determine your sense of self-worth or who you need to be based on that, you look to the one person within your inner voice, your heart and soul, to inform you what is right for you, what are your values, what are the things that you treasure, what are the things that are important to you. And if other people misunderstand you, just let them. They don't know you better than you do. And if you allow yourself to be defined by others, then you're setting yourself up for other disappointment and a life that is not even yours. For example, when I was little, I loved reading books. That was one of my favorite things. And I didn't really like that much to play with other kids. I like to play with my brother and his friend. But when I play with other girls, if we had to play Barbies, it was always the exact same game. Everything was always repeating the same. And I was completely bored with it. I like to make dresses for my Barbies. And I like to play hide and seek and like go and play in abandoned construction sites and all this kind of stuff with my brother and his friend. But when things would be repetitive, I didn't like them. And because I didn't like to play with girls, my parents thought that I was shy. I was not shy. I just would rather spend my time reading books and learning things or doing something that's a little bit different every time and that's more of an adventure versus playing the same game in the same way every single time. But for a while, I accepted that definition that they gave me and I thought that I was shy. And then later on, it dawned on me I'm not shy. I just don't like small talk. And there are topics that I'm not interested in, like talking about other people and things and repeating the same thing over and over. I just have different interests. I enjoy more depth. I enjoy more variety. I like to go deeper into things. And with people who can go there, I'm not shy at all. Another example, if a man who's interested in me and is attracted to me approaches me in some way, whatever, and I'm not attracted to him, and kind of make it clear that I'm not interested. A lot of times, what he'll do is like can call me unavailable, or like any kind of word to justify the rejection that my standards are too high. and I don't know what I want, or like what I want is impossible, or whatever, unapproachable, afraid of commitment. I know I'm none of those things. My standards are my standards. I know exactly what I want. If I'm not attracted to somebody, I cannot make myself attracted to them. If I find them boring, if they're not aligned with what I'm aligned with, and they don't share the same values, and they're not committed to unfolding their fullest potential and coming into wholeness, and don't have a growth mindset, why would I want to be with that person? But naturally, if I give that to them straight, they're not going to like it. So it's much more convenient to call me a bunch of things and project their own inadequacy on me. But when you're self aware, you learn not to care and not to take things personally. And I realize that everybody will see reality from their own perspective, and they will accept as much truth as they're ready for. And a lot of people would rather lie to themselves and to you, and they're not ready for the truth. And there's no reason to go around explaining yourself or trying to match their version of reality or looking for their validation. But the best thing is to know who you are, what you stand for, what you want, and go for that. And if people get it, good. And if they don't, still good. But that's how you are free. When you realize that you create your own reality and you don't owe explanation to anybody, and everybody is in a different level of development. And maybe the soul lessons that you came here for are completely different than the soul lessons that somebody else came here for, and they will never be able to understand you. And maybe in their life, in their eyes, you're not successful because you don't have a certain status or a job or a certain size of home. But in your eyes, you're successful because you get to do what you want whenever you want to. And your definition of success is that, to have that inner freedom. So that's why it's important to spend some time to think about what is important for you, who you are and who you want to be. What are your values? What are your definitions of certain basic concepts? And then life becomes so much more fun because you get to be yourself, you get to create your life the way you want to, and other people have the same option and choice. And if they'd rather focus on you and try to define you and try to tell you what to do and who to be and all of that, you can politely ignore and continue on with their life and be a good example of what it is to be a free spirit who follows themselves. Hi, Tony, and hi, Man Bland. Thanks for joining in. Hope you're living your lives according to your own rules and you're feeling free and you're not confined by the opinions of others. So, yeah, this is how we create our own mental prison, and this is how we escape of it. And by getting really clear on who we are, who we want to be, and continuing to work on our own character and creating our own life the way we want it to be.